Hi, everyone. I'm Jery-Chien, CEO and co-founder of Gravity, a social community designed to create a healthier and more empowering way for the world to be connected. My co-founders and I, Jason Harrington and Anya Vukovic, created Gravity in January 2020, and we're headquartered in Toronto, Canada. Jason has worked with some of the largest social platforms in the world, including Twitter, Snapchat, and Spotify. And Anya is a data governance and security expert who's worked with some of the largest financial institutions, including State Street, Aon, and BMO. As for myself, I've held a wide range of senior executive positions in finance, energy, and tech, and most recently built the world's first billion-dollar insurance program for cryptocurrencies and digital assets. Before we get started, I just want to thank Hyundai for their leadership in the metaverse space, and we're truly grateful for the opportunity to collaborate with all of the exciting projects being presented today. There's no doubt that the metaverse will empower people to explore, experience, and engage in new and exciting ways that's limited only by our imagination. And it's clear that the potential of the metaverse is truly limitless. And we're only scratching the surface in terms of how economic value can be generated not only within the ecosystem, but by the users themselves within the metaverse. That being said, despite the incredible opportunities that lie ahead, we have to recognize that it's also a bit scary to imagine. We've seen this played out in science fiction movies over and over again, where people use virtual reality or the metaverse to escape their actual reality. And these movies never end well, as the big tech companies behind these virtual worlds always seem to have some hidden or evil agenda that manipulates or exploits people. So before the metaverse really takes off, we really need to think carefully about how we can protect users from being exploited or manipulated by these big tech companies. Otherwise, left unchecked, the metaverse could potentially terraform our entire collective human experience into a state where we're all dissatisfied with our own realities, especially compared to the artificial utopia will be offered within the metaverse, all designed to not only separate us from our reality, but ultimately to take more control of our lives so that the tech companies can maximize their profits with a total disregard to the negative impact it may have on people and on society as a whole. In fact, we don't have to look too hard to find examples where big tech companies are exploiting people for profits. And social media is the biggest and best example of this. When social media was first launched into the world, it was filled with so much promise, and it definitely made the world a whole lot smaller and way more accessible. People from around the world were able to connect with each other, and it felt like everyone now had a platform to share their voice. It was all about building friendships, easily reconnecting with people you lost touch with, and finally being able to stay in touch with everything and everyone you cared about. Now, there are over 4.2 billion people on social media, which means more than half of the world's population is now interconnected. There's so much potential for good. But instead of bringing people closer together, the social media apps have intentionally divided us and antagonized us through algorithms that promote hateful, toxic, misleading, and harmful content, all because they know that negative reactions to content keeps you glued to their apps way more than positive reactions do. And of course, their ultimate goal is to keep you on their apps as long as possible by manipulating our emotions, thoughts, and actions with their algorithms so that they can spam you with as much ads as possible and influence your buying decisions. They're collecting copious amounts of your data with a total disregard for your privacy, and they're intentionally pushing you addictive and manipulative content with a total disregard for your mental health and safety. And over 38% of social media users believe that social media is harming their mental health. And for everyone that hasn't seen the Netflix documentary, The Social Dilemma, I would highly recommend it, as they do a great job shining a light on the hidden agendas of the social media companies and how they're intentionally manipulating and exploiting people, choosing profit over safety. With all that being said about social media today, imagine the orders of magnitude upon which social media apps in the metaverse will be able to collect and track the actions of its users from every dimension and possible view angle, and use that data to manipulate them even further with the ultimate goal of causing addiction, so that users will spend even more time on their apps. In fact, when it comes to social media addiction, how many of you right now could even take a small break from your social media apps? Could you even last a day, a week, or a month without looking at your social media apps? And how long do you think your kids would last without their social media apps? I would actually argue that the vast majority of the 4.2 billion social media users suffer from some form of social media addiction. And the truth is, it's not our fault. These apps have been intentionally designed to be addictive. And there's no physiological difference between the high you get when you're at a casino or when you're using your social media apps. And it's funny because we would never allow our kids to gamble at a casino, but we seem pretty okay with them being on their phones nonstop. The average teen is spending 6 to 9 hours a day on social media. Imagine how much time they might spend in the universe, in the metaverse, where gaming, shopping, and social media all blends together even more. And with the advent of play-to-earn video games, we can already foresee a future where people can make a living in the multiverse just playing video games. Now combine that with all the possibilities of remote work, entertainment, and socializing within the metaverse, and it's not difficult to see how people will be spending more than half of their lives immersed in it. And although this may seem like a dystopia to many of us in this room at this conference, the next generation has already been programmed to embrace the fact that most of their lives will be spent interconnected with technology, and that digital assets and digital experiences have the equal or not more value than actual real experiences and real assets in the physical world. The scariest thing is that in the multiverse, it will become even more and more difficult to distinguish between the experiences that you've chosen out of your own free will and the experiences that have been pushed to you by complex algorithms with hidden agendas, trying to manipulate you. To be honest, that world is frightening. And I'm sure everyone here has heard of Facebook's recent announcement that they're transitioning into a metaverse company.
CEO Mark Zuckerberg introduced what he calls the metaverse.
Starting today, our company is now Meta.
The bottom line is that social media and society truly can't afford to let history repeat itself and allow these big tech companies to continue to exploit people and negatively affect our societies the way that they currently do. And this is why we created Gravity. Gravity is a social sanctuary where you can stay connected on your own terms, free of spam, clutter, and toxic content. Our mission is to create a global community that empowers you to enjoy the benefits of being connected without being exploited or manipulated. You're in complete control of your data, privacy, and content, and there are no algorithms with hidden agendas. Gravity pulls together all of the best chat and social features from the different social media apps and combines it with a truly unique integrated NFT content store, all 100% designed to create a healthier and more empowering way for the world to be connected. In fact, we share 50% of all profits with our community, and Gravity is the only social app that's actually designed to help you save time, not waste it. By giving you control over the content you see and how you see it, you can find a healthier balance when it comes to being social. And you can prioritize the content you see and who you see content from to stay plugged in with your friends and what's going on in the world without having to sacrifice your time and attention being bombarded with unwanted ads and content. In fact, Gravity is the only social app that doesn't launch you directly into your feed as soon as you open it up. Instead, we give you a mindful moment to choose what you want to see. And we even allow you to set timers and auto locks to help you limit and manage the time you and your family spend scrolling. What also makes Gravity so unique is that 0 ads appear in your feed unless you choose to opt in to Gravity's ad profit share program, where you control the type and number of ads that appear in your feed. And for every ad that you see, Gravity will actually share 50% of the ad profits with you. Essentially, you can choose to have a 100% ad-free social experience or get paid to see ads in your feed that actually interest you. Gravity is also the first and only social platform with an integrated NFT content store where everyone can mint their posts and profit from them, no matter the size of their social influence or network. Within Gravity's NFT content store, everyone has the opportunity to sell their minted posts to collectors, businesses, and investors while earning royalties for every upvote their post receives from the community. As most of you know, the NFT and collectibles marketplaces have been on fire, and we truly believe it's just getting started. And it's definitely going to play a huge role when it comes to the metaverse. It's still hard to believe that a JPEG sold for $63.9 million earlier this year. As I alluded to earlier, Gravity is creating a unique social sanctuary for people who want to be connected without all the spam and clutter associated with social media today. And we truly believe there will be an even greater need for such a sanctuary within the metaverse as the world continues to get noisier and more chaotic. To be honest, our plans for the metaverse is still evolving, and it will definitely take us time to triangulate the best way to provide this type of social sanctuary within the metaverse. But I think it's important for us to take a practical approach that embraces all of these new technologies and ecosystems without compromising accessibility and inclusivity. And the one thing that we're 100% sure of is that our mission will always be to provide the safest, healthiest, and most empowering way for the world to be connected. As we look forward, we're certainly excited to collaborate with companies and organizations that have a shared vision for their communities. And we're also excited to partner with strategic investors who can help us accelerate our growth in providing a best solution that the world desperately needs. Together, we can help shape the future of the metaverse to ensure that it's a safe, healthy, and empowering space for the world to be connected. Thank you so much.